believe that even in the most developed countries, it's a very hard balance to maintain. But the Arab world does not have to reinvent the wheel. They can be guided by other countries that have faced the same social and economic challenges, but have reformed their educational systems considerably. Naming a few would be Malaysia and South Korea, among others. So the first step I would suggest is defining a national educational policy. And this policy, because it's not only about educational reform, it's about what purposes does this reform serve and to reach what ends, and the mechanisms that this reform is going to take place. So if we can create a national platform where the government, the relevant government entities can be on board, like the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Health, among others, business leaders, community leaders represented in non-governmental NGOs and others, they can come together and define the policy that is going to guide the national educational practices in the country. And something very, very important as well can be ensuring the quality of this education and constant re-evaluation to check whether these policies are actually working or not. If not, then in what ways can they be changed? And in that sense, getting on board educational specialists from the region and without the region would be very important and would add great value to it. I think that being innovative does not happen overnight. It's a process and it takes time. So a long-term solution would be starting with children from a very, very young age and encouraging them to be critical, to think for themselves, to be innovative and start up their own initiatives. But talking more on the short term, on what can be done now, I think when it comes to children, depending a lot on community-based projects, and these projects include a lot of NGO work that use art, for example, to enhance creativity among children. As for young people within working age, I believe instead of spending more time talking about the skill gap between education and employment, we should focus more on on-job training and make use of foreign direct investment in that. So it has to be stated in FDI agreements that locals are to be hired. They have to be very well trained when hired on the job, and the knowledge has to be transferred from basically more knowledgeable economies to less knowledgeable economies. This, on the long run, would create generations able to start up their own businesses and think for themselves and have the know-how on how to do that. Unfortunately, despite that, we have the highest regional unemployment rate, which is on 12%. And redesigning the unemployment ecosystem, we need to go a step back. And it's because there's so much emphasis in the region on academic studies. Everyone wants to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer because they correlate it with certain social status. But if we invest more in technical and vocational training and shift the focus from only academic studies to providing alternative routes for people not interested in that, I think it will provide so many opportunities for young people, as well as exploring new fields like natural energy, because the Middle East is so rich in that. Giving a few examples, Morocco, Libya, Egypt can use a lot of young people in solar energy generation. And these are just a few ideas on how to provide more opportunities for young people. And I'm really optimistic about the summit, and I hope we do come out with concrete outcomes that would help the region. Thank you.